Nobody wants to hear this loud music. Turn it off. You're not calling the cops, dude. Stop it.
Many of the moments on 90 Day Fiancé are cringeworthy, and even more end in drag-out fights between the couples. It's not uncommon for the couples to fight over cultural differences or the relationship not meeting their expectations. But sometimes these arguments go over the line, so let's take a look at moments in 90 Day Fiancé that went too far. David and Annie. Jobless and penniless, David thought it would be a great idea to visit Thailand. While he was there, he met Annie and fell in love. Once the couple decided to get married, they were faced with financial problems and trying to figure out how to make ends meet. David and Annie met with David's best friend Chris and decided they would live with Chris and his wife. Things took a turn for the weird when, after asking Annie if she would be willing to help out by cooking, Chris asked her if she would be willing to give him poolside massages. After outraged fans took to the internet to express their disgust, Chris quickly backpedaled, saying that it was the producers of the show that told him to ask Annie such an uncomfortable question. Chris's wife Nikki went on to explain that Chris had to say the line over and over because it didn't come out naturally enough. Luis and Molly. Molly and Luis didn't have much in their favor when they started their relationship. Their age difference, coupled with Molly's unsupportive family, these two, well, they weren't bound to make it. In one shocking fight, Molly started asking Luis if he would rather Molly's kids not be around and go live with their father. Luis dismissed the conversation, insinuating that it was Molly's time of the month and that everything she was saying was crazy. In a weird segue, Luis started criticizing Molly's home and pointing out that there are no Bibles in the house. The argument escalated until Molly had finally had enough, claiming she did not want to marry Luis. Pedro and Chantal. When Chantal vacationed in the Dominican Republic, she met Pedro, and the two started their relationship. When Pedro came back to the United States to be with Chantal, Chantal lied to her family and said that Pedro was here on a student visa, not a K-1 visa. Her family had no idea that the two were making plans to marry. Once the couple married, their family drama escalated into some serious tension and disdain for each other. It didn't help that the two families had many cultural and language differences, which just added fuel to the fire. On one terrible evening, Pedro's mother decided to cook dinner for Chantel's family, and when the two families came together, a heated argument erupted between Pedro and Chantal's brother, River. The two men started taking swings at each other and had to be physically separated. The cameraman who filmed the fight later said that the fight was 100% real and the families really did hate each other. AZAN and Nicole. Nicole met AZAN on a dating website, and the two quickly became engaged without ever even meeting face to face. When Nicole flew to Morocco to meet AZAN against her parents' wishes, AZAN seemed less than thrilled and commented that Nicole was bigger than he had thought she would be. Once the pair had a chance to roam around Morocco, AZAN told Nicole that it was against his culture for unmarried people to show affection in public. This did not stop Nicole from trying to hug and kiss AZAN while they walked around. Major cringiness followed when AZAN had to tell Nicole to stop. This non-display of affection only worsened when they arrived in the States, and AZAN began to make even more comments about Nicole's weight and started pushing her to work out. Jay and Ashley. Ashley was in Jamaica attending a friend's wedding when she met Jay. The couple said it was love at first sight, and they soon became engaged, with Jay coming to the United States on a K-1 visa to plan their wedding. Not everything went smoothly, however. A few days after the couple said "I do," Ashley caught Jay on a dating website and confronted him. Despite Jay's indiscretion so soon after being married, Ashley forgave him, and the two continued on as husband and wife. After filing for divorce twice, Ashley withdrew the paperwork both times to try to save her marriage. It looks like the third time's the charm though, as it was her third filing that stuck, and the two are now officially divorced. Paul and KARINE. Paul was one of the oddest people to ever appear on 90 Day Fiancé when he had to sit down with his fiancée KARINE and tell her that he had a criminal history as an arsonist, as well as an ex-girlfriend who took out a restraining order against him. Paul's behavior was well past just, well, plain bizarre. He told KARINE, stood up, and ran away, but instead of coming back after a few minutes, he literally kept running through the wilderness, leaving poor KARINE sitting by herself, dazed and confused. Colt and Larissa. Colt and Larissa met on a dating website, and Colt almost immediately went to Mexico to meet with his new girlfriend. The two quickly became engaged, and the two headed to Las Vegas to live. Upon arriving at the airport, Larissa was stunned to find out that Colt hadn't brought her flowers to welcome her to Vegas. She couldn't let it go and brought it up the entire time that they were at the airport. The hits just kept coming as Larissa wasn't happy with her new home or with Colt's family. Despite all of Larissa's disappointment, the two were married within the 90 days. The marriage wouldn't last long, however, as they were divorced a few months later. Despite their short-lived marriage, they were still able to sneak in a few run-ins with the law. Larissa was charged with domestic battery. Paul and Karine, Part 2. We're not done yet with these two. While their episode was full of cringeworthy moments, another aspect of their relationship was just too bizarre not to mention. Since Karine didn't speak English and Paul didn't speak Portuguese, the two were forced to communicate through a translator app on Paul's phone. He would literally hold his phone up to Karine's mouth when she wanted to say something, and then he would do the same to respond. Once fans caught on to the translations of their conversations were a little too perfect, it was discovered that the translations were actually manufactured and edited by TLC during filming of the episode.
Sit down and explain to me all the reasons why you're upset.
Por favor, sente-se e explique-me todas as razões pelas quais você está chateado.
Mohamed and Danielle. Mohamed and Danielle definitely go down as two of the most mismatched people to appear on 90 Day Fiancé. The two met in a chat room online and quickly became engaged, which allowed Mohamed to travel to the United States. While the couple were able to marry within the 90 days, Mohamed didn't stick around very long after the filming wrapped on their episode. Danielle is claimed to have paid for Mohamed's K-1 visa, their wedding, and their divorce, also claiming that Mohamed had promised to pay her back, which he never did. There is a pretty dark confrontation that took place between Mohamed and Danielle, where Danielle screams at Mohamed that he used her. She accused him of telling her what she wanted to hear in order to get the visa to come to the US. In the sequel, 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, viewers see Danielle trying to get Mohamed deported. Jorge and Anfisa. When we're first introduced to Anfisa, it doesn't take viewers long to realize that she has one goal when she set her sights on Jorge. She was looking for a man to provide her with a lavish lifestyle. In the same respect, when we meet Jorge, it's pretty clear he is just as obsessed with Anfisa's looks. Jorge led Anfisa to believe that he was basically loaded before his lies came crashing down around him. The relationship took a turn once Anfisa realized that her Prince Charming was pretty much broke. The two still got married despite Anfisa's disappointment. Eventually, Jorge went on to see a divorce lawyer behind Anfisa's back, and when a producer from the show mentioned this in front of Anfisa, all hell broke loose. Anfisa was so angry that she tried to storm off the set. Jorge denied everything, but the two never recovered. Russ and Paola. Russ knew it wouldn't be easy introducing his fiancée Paola to his super conservative family. During the first family dinner, things were eerily quiet until Paola asked Russ's parents what they thought about their engagement. Russ's mom was quick to tell Paola that his family warned him not to meet someone and bring her back home. The awkward family moments continued until Russ and Paola eventually moved out of Russ's parents' home and to Miami. Eric and LEIDA. LEIDA not only moved herself to the United States to be with her fiancé, she also moved her young son in with Eric. The transition was anything but smooth, with tensions running high between LEIDA and Eric's teenage daughter. It got so bad that Eric had his daughter move out of his house. LEIDA was also angry about the money that Eric had to pay his ex-wife for child support. Things came to a head when LEIDA referred to Eric's daughter as a burden, and Eric finally stood up for his kids. Larissa and Fernanda. Some of the best moments that escalated on the show didn't happen between the couples, but between the castmates. When Larissa arrived late for the reunion, she hurried to try to look her best to impress Fernanda because she had claimed that Fernanda was jealous of her because she's beautiful and Fernanda is ugly. When Larissa finally arrived on set, the two immediately went after each other.
Show respect, you brat. Okay,
Larissa, show respect to you. You have to earn respect.
Don't talk. Nobody care.
ASUELU and KALANI. Some couples move fast, like really fast. Before ASUELU could even get to the United States on a K-1 visa, his fiancée KALANI already gave birth to their son. KALANI needed serious help managing financially and with childcare. She asked her sister for help and was able to get by. When KALANI became pregnant a second time, her sister was not so quick to offer help. Kalani decided to tell her sister the night before her wedding, and the conversation did not go well. Her sister was extremely disappointed. Kalani's sister revealed that she felt ASUELU kept getting Kalani pregnant in order to tie her down and that their marriage was not a good idea. Which moment on 90 Day Fiancé do you think went too far? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.